Hi guys, happy Transparent Tuesday rather than Monday. I wanted to share something with you that leaves me a bit vulnerable, so bear with me and don't judge me. Here it is. My husband left for school last Thursday. So from Thursday to Monday of this week, I was by myself with the kids. I definitely would get help here and there, so don't get me wrong. However, I had to go to the doctor with the kids on Friday. They both came down with crazy colds and allergies. I had a rehearsal dinner. Both my son and I were in a wedding on Friday, and then we were in the wedding on Saturday. My son's birthday was on Sunday. My daughter has probably like 4 teeth coming in at once, and needless to say, it was a bit overwhelming. I was a little frustrated. I was very tired, and I also was actually had a cold or something going on. So when my husband would call me from Florida and tell me about his time there, I have to be honest in saying that my attitude and my state of heart wasn't the best it could be by any means. Understandably so. So I knew that when he came home, I would have a chip on my shoulder and feel like I deserve probably about 20 days of freedom for dealing with 2 small children and getting us through all that had gone on in those days while he was gone. My sense of entitlement was in high gear, to say the least. Maybe you can relate. Have you ever felt like you had done so much for somebody, or maybe you work so hard and you feel like your job owes you either time off or money or a raise, or you give so much in a friendship and when that person doesn't give back, you are frustrated, or you put so much into your kids and you do everything you can and you barely hear a thank you or feel the genuine appreciation you're seeking. I think more often than we realize, our sense of entitlement is a bit greater than we'd like to admit. I started thinking about, can you imagine if God held that same process of thought with us? Like if he, called me up on the phone and said, "Hey Josie, last week you prayed about your kids' health and this wedding you needed to get to, and you prayed about somebody else's health and finances and some relationships. I answered all those prayers last week, so I think this week I might take some time off from you. I just feel like I deserve that." Or even greater, what if he said, "Hey Josie, about a little over 2,000 years ago, I thought of you on the cross when I gave my life for you. You want to start repaying me back for that?" Thank God he doesn't think the way us frail humans do. So I looked up some verses and I came up with a 3-step plan that would definitely, we could be a happier, better example to our kids, to our neighbors, to our friends if we just got over our selfie. I was thinking, in this age of selfies, and we're constantly putting ourselves on pedestals, and we can't help but go along with society, and it's moving us in that direction. Selfies are like the it thing, but why not stop for a second and think about a selfie? We are a highlighted people, or so we think we are. I thought of 3 ways that we could get over our selfie, maybe 4, I'm not sure. First, if we could be real with our selfie, and if we could stop for a second and ask why we feel like we deserve so much. What is it that is making us feel this sense of entitlement? And why does it bother us if we don't get the things that we're seeking? If we can really get in tune and get over and be real with our selfie for a second, that's the first step into getting through the process of entitlement. Then if we could get a hold of our selfie, once we come to terms with our state of heart, we can, ask God to help us to control the selfie attitude. Ask Him to relieve us of this desire to feel like things are made even, or to feel like things need to be made right for the good we're doing in our job, in our home, me with my, I was being a mom and a wife and just maintaining our home. My husband owed me nothing. But I didn't have that attitude. The third thing is put your selfie away, or put your selfie aside for a second. Not entirely, but if we could put others in front of ourselves, if we could put others in front of ourselves and stop this me first, satisfy my need attitude, our selfie would be better satisfied when we take that initial step of stop self-serving and instead serve outward. It makes a world of difference. And then finally, I think this is the biggest way to help this selfie epidemic, is rather than do things because we're supposed to, or because we're expecting something in return, or rather than do anything with the slightest thought of knowing or expecting something in return, if we did everything only because we know the Lord sees us, the Lord calculates our hearts and minds and the thoughts that process therein, if we could stop the other attitude and genuinely act out of a real desire to please Him by demonstrating His good within our home and outside of it, I really believe this selfie epidemic and this entitlement attitude would turn around, and we all would benefit from it. These are the two verses I just want to leave with you that would solidify what I'm saying about doing our, having our actions be a reciprocation of our heart for the Lord rather than our heart in our need to please ourselves or the people around us. Ephesians 6:7, rendering service with a good will as to the Lord and not to man, knowing that whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from the Lord, whether he is a slave or free. No matter what, the Lord repays, and His repayment is far better than anything we could ever accumulate here, and that's a promise. And finally, in this verse I take to the bank and I hold it in my heart, and I pray that you do too, is this. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work heartily with a whole heart as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. No matter what you do, whether it's wiping your kids' butts or serving food at the restaurant or bringing a friend a warm meal, or even if it's doing something, buying a new car, do it unto the Lord and do it with a thankful heart, and know that this selfie entitlement attitude, of which I struggle and demonstrated this week, will take a turn for the better if we can practice some of these tips. I wanted to leave that with you. I couldn't record the video yesterday because I felt like my heart wasn't in the right spot, and I'm just being honest with you. I couldn't record it yesterday. I was still mad at my husband. I was still dealing with this I don't even have time to do what I want to do attitude. But the Lord had given me things throughout the day, and then He kind of brought it into fruition this morning, and I just wanted to share that with you. So instead of Monday Minutes, I'm Josie Valley with Minutes Matter, and that's me being transparent this Tuesday. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable.